It's morality, it's reality. My condolences. Some people pray for the miracle every day of the week. For all the fallen soldiers, rest in peace. Me tell mama say her Sunday, she a laugh like a joke. She say my son a good youth, couldn't even cut her for short. You see all when the night life pass, mama never convinced. I want you to see the master, start pray about the body and live. Just to start to sing, she go shout out, here I am when you gone. How will you gone before me? Mama they wonder what I want. Based on the true story, here I am when you die. Come out and take off and walk. Or you fi cut me conversation so sudden. Me and you never done talk.
Right. Okay. Right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Little boys and little girls. Monkey people. Filing paperwork in the magician court. In the county court. Depriving people of their private property by crooked means, perfidy and corruption. Right, little boys and little girls, I have a lesson for you today. You see, there's just a few things that I was going through that you need to know is part of the deception. So, as well as the fact that there is no Santa Claus, you see. So for boys and girls who are going to be disappointed about this one, Santa Claus does not exist. It's a made-up story. And the guy who eats the cookies and drinks the milk is your mommy and your daddy. Alright? Or even your daddy and your daddy today. So, right. Number one, children, Kundalini is not pasta. Okay? Kundalini is not pasta. And Jesus Christ is not an American. Right? Jesus Christ is not an American, little children. Right? On top of that, there never, ever, ever in the history of existence did there ever exist a man by the name of Joseph who used to wander around the wilderness or the deserts or the dust barrel in a place called Israel. Okay, there's no such people called Joseph, Mary. There's no people down the street called David. Oh yeah, what's up, Luke? In Israel 4,000, 3,000, 2,000 years ago. Hey, what's up, Matt? Where you going, Matt? Where you going, Matthew? Yeah, I'm just going down the street, Joseph. There's nothing like that. There are no such people. It's made up stories. So don't believe anyone who tells you that there was somebody called Joseph who used to live in a place called Israel 2,000 years ago or whenever. Alright, that's a lot of BS. So little children, boys and girls, if a man wearing a skirt comes to you telling you such stories about this Jesus Christ, right, and telling you that he's gonna ask you to do some things because it's God who wants this thing to happen, don't believe him. Okay? Ask him this. Is it true that there was somebody called Joseph who was wandering around the dust in Israel 2,000 years ago? And see what he's going to say. So don't believe bogus stories, made-up stories, and fictitious allegories that are being presented as historic facts. Alright? There's no man on the moon, unfortunately, little boys and girls. It never has been, there never will be. Don't be deceived, little children. There's a man on the moon. Did somebody ever went to the moon? Somebody called Apollonia. They took an airplane, sorry, a spacecraft called Apollonia, and they took Apollonia up to the moon, and then they took some pictures, planted some flags, left their photographs, and then came back and lost the paperwork for it. So boys and girls, if an idiot comes to you and say to you, there's a man who went to the moon and he had a meeting with some space aliens, don't believe him. Tell him I don't believe you. Tell him I don't believe there's anything called space to start with, right? Tell him I don't believe there's anything called an outer space. So I don't want to hear any more stories about outer space and some space aliens who are going to come down and eat everybody up. Alright? Keep you in fear all the time. It's a whole bunch of nonsense. Alright? So there's no space. There's no outer space. There's no outer space station where you have some Russians and some Chinese people and some American people who are floating around upside down with their hair all over the place. This is bogus, people. This is Hollywood nonsense. Right? But in any case, we're going to do a proper in-depth into the space station in its own time. We're going to devote 3 hours only to dispel the lie that has been perpetrated for over how many years? Whatever years they've been going to space. They can't go more than 36 miles. That's it. There's no outer space, people. Outer space, my ass. Alright? There's an idiot called, look him up. What's that fool's name? He's a dumb looking fuck with a big ass forehead. Tyson deGrasse somebody. Neil deGrasse Tyson, I think he's the one who's the biggest liar, talking about the Earth is no longer a sphere. It's an obloid spheroid. It's a pear-shaped now. It's pear-shaped now, but it's still managing to revolve. We won't get into space today. Thank you very much, boys and girls. We're going to get back on Earth, and there is no man who lives in the Bora Bora caves in a place called Afghanistan, and this man has got a beard, and his name is Usman bin Laden. That he's got a walkie-talkie and a beard, and that this man is able to command some people to take some planes and fly them into buildings in America, in the good old United States of America. That these Arabs, okay, so-called Arabs, right, from the axis of evil, I think, or wherever they're from. So these Arabs, one of them who lives inside a cave, is able to command some planes, okay, right? So these planes can fly into buildings that are made of cheese, right? So that a plane can fly into a building such that the wings go right into a concrete building and disappear inside of it. So it's a twin tower building made of cheese, right? And as soon as these Arabs are able to fly these planes into these buildings made of cheese, the building explode, right? By themselves, just boom, and then crumble down. And in this mist, a passport of one of the dusty Arabs flies out, and it's found by an FBI agent. Lucky, very lucky for everybody. Oh boy. So ladies and gentlemen, you know this already, but for the little boys and little girls, and for the monkey people running around in their school uniform, molesting people on the streets, you need to know that there's no man living inside a cave in Afghanistan, alright, with a walkie-talkie, alright, and there's no twin towers made of cheese, neither, okay? So we're going to get down to how this is possible and how this fool's able to do this thing. So try and get a little graph to show you about your mind, if you never knew. For the ladies and gentlemen, you know you have this thing and you use it. Little boys and little girls, you're just starting to learn how to use it. But the monkey people don't know how to use it, so they're the lower mind state. Okay, so the three minds. Piss me off. Come on. Alright. So you have three minds. We live in a third dimension. Everything works in threes. So occasionally it's good to I'll leave that. Right, where was that? Something. I'm trying to work on something and it's pissing me off. Right, three minds. We'll go into that and let's see. Give me a minute, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just sort something out. Done. Okay. Okay. Right. Here we are. Now, for anyone who is interested in raising their vibration, obviously you need to know how to do it, right? So basically, if you understand the basic three minds, you have your lower mind, you see your middle mind, and your higher mind. Okay. So your lower mind would be identical with, if you do the chakra thing again, it's always the same, so mid maybe. And then you have your lower three chakras here, your heart chakra and the other going up. So you can say that your lower mind is the red zone, flight or fight mentality, okay? So how do you identify somebody using their lower mind? You observe what they do and what they say, and that's enough. So for these characters here, you say low mind, they talk about usually. Alright? That's all they talk about. So in various ways, they're going to discuss people. Right? Normally, in a negative manner. So they're going to speak disparagingly about others in order to build themselves up or in order to feel good. Right? So that's the lower mind. They spend the whole day discussing other people negatively, or in a negative manner. Right? Little boys and little girls, if you ever come across such people, try and avoid them. Because these are called bitches. Alright? They're the ones who cause trouble. Because they discuss people. Oh, somebody said something, or somebody said something. And then it gets escalated and it causes conflict. Alright? These are called bitches. Or little girls and little boys. Alright? They're not grown. They're still... They're grown in so-called age. But they're not mature. Alright? So you can get somebody who's in their 30s. Even I've met 50-year-olds who act like little kids. Still playing games and with toys. People, we won't get into that. But yeah, people who talk about people, that's an indication of using your lower mind. Then you get the other people who might go higher a little bit. It doesn't equate to, they're still here, second maybe. Right? Now these people talk about events. Alright? So they're slightly higher than the people who talk about people. So they talk about events and they'll explain what happened. So they'll talk about what they saw and just narrate that. And that's about it. Alright? So yeah, some people talk about people. Some people talk about people and events. Some people talk about events. So mid-mind is events. They'll talk about events and explain what happened and this and that and the other one. Right? However, high-minded people, they talk about these. Alright? Not in all caps, but... So that's how to identify who's using what mind. Alright? So little boys and little girls, if possible, you want to hang around people who talk about ideas and concepts and build those concepts and then manifest those ideas. Those are the people you want to deal with. The people who talk about people are people you want to avoid. Okay? They'll make up stories. And how is that? Right? Because they're using their low mind. So you're going to go back to our initial, everything is a circle. Then the circle splits into half and half. In fact, I should do it this way. Within your monkey head, if you say this is your ears, now we won't even go into your monkey melon head today. We'll just say spiritual, physical, intellectual, emotional. All right? These are the people who talk about, emotional people talk about people and what somebody said, and what somebody said, and what somebody said. Who gives a monkey's ass what somebody said? Get over it. Grow up. Piss off. Alright? So that's how you deal with people who come across like that, telling you somebody said something. I give a shit what somebody said. Tell them clearly, listen, if you got nothing to do, go and do it somewhere else. Yeah, somebody said something. Who gives a monkey's ass? Alright? So you don't want to deal with this, what so-called bitches down here, this emotionally unstable, yeah, that's what they are. Emotional immaturity, or people who harbor negative emotions and they're always moaning and complaining and whinging and whining, always complaining. There's something to moan about. There's something wrong all the time. The emotion nonsense, emotional immaturity. Grow up and use your higher brain if you have it, right? Or balance those two, all right? The same token, you get the physical. People who just talk about people and events and physical things only. No concept of spiritual anything. Empty, completely. Everything is physical. Everything is material, right? After a while, it tends to get a bit boring with conversation about what you own, you see, and the value of your material things. Please, right? And how much physical as well. How much, let's say physical, how much hair you have, or how you smooth your ass is smoother than anybody else's, or how round it is. How round your ass is rounder than anybody else's, so you must be great. Or how pretty you are, because you're prettier than anybody else in the world, so you must be, yeah, it's very physical. Or you got the longest hair in the world, or you got the longest feet in the world, I don't know, the longest legs in the world. It's always physical. No, it doesn't make you any better than somebody else. What makes you better than somebody else is your conduct. And your conduct is always ruled by where you reside, where your spirit is. Alright? So no one's falling for deception. Now, in your body, on your body, it can be said that your body's, the size of your body, the size of your head, or your head can fit your body 7 times, if that makes any sense. Right? So your head can fit your body 7 times. Right? So you can say those are 7 chakras. If you take just one of those chakras being your head, and we'll find more chakras in there. So I have an example of here, how it is. So let's imagine that this is your monkey head. Alright? And then we split it into 2. So this is your big ass melon head. And we split it into 2. Big ass ears. And your big googly eyes. Alright? And then you have your... Alright? Something like that. So in any case, it's a circle split into 2. So let's say the top part is positive and the lower part is negative. What you need to understand is this. You got your mouth here, which deals with solid things and liquid things. Alright? Physical. Right? Emotional as well. This is where you talk all the garbage from. This is where all the crap comes out of, all the BS. Right? All the shit comes out of here. For the people who talk too much. And they use their mouth more than they use anything else. Right? Because their head is empty, that's why they talk too much. And that's all they do. All day. Use this part. Yak, 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 yak. 24 hours a day. They won't shut up. Right? Here all the time. Right? If you go up a level, you go into your nose. Right? This deals with, say, steam. Alright? So which is a higher vibration, if you will, as opposed to the solid, which goes in the lower place of your mouth. Right? So if you go a little bit higher, you deal with higher vibration, which is the steam. Right? So those two can be said to be the lower chakras if you cut the face in half. Like that. Alright? So this is lower chakras. If you go higher chakras, then you get vibration here in your ears. Right? So you can take in different information. So you're not taking information which is solid or steam, you're taking in vibration information. It's a higher vibration. And above that, you get light information, which is another form of vibration, you see. And if you go even higher, you can use your eyes up here, your three eyes, and use the ether, which is even higher vibration. Most people don't even know it exists, or that there is the sixth element, or sixth element, or the sixth element. The fifth would be the fifth here, but sixth in general. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. So it simply means that you'll gain more knowledge, right, if you use your ears and your eyes, you see. But you'll gain no knowledge if you use your mouth and your nose only. You gain no knowledge when you're yakking. You gain knowledge when you shut your mouth and be silent and still and absorb the knowledge. And you do that when you listen, use your ears, which means you shut your big ass mouth and you listen, and also use your eyes and observe. That's it. Observation only is going to resolve all your problems. But nobody wants to observe. Everybody wants to talk and make comment. Well, nobody cares about the monkey boy's comments or the little boy or the little girl's comments. You can comment as much as you want. The question is, what are you doing though? What are you doing? That's the point. What are you doing every day when you wake up in the morning? What the hell do you do? Big ass is zero. So no comment, observation. All right. What else you got for you? I think that's it. If you're going to deal with lower mind and mid mind and lower chakra people, all right. So little boys and little girls, do avoid people who talk too much. All right. Or use their mouth too much for whatever they're doing with it. Okay. And you need to try and align yourself with people who observe things or observe nature, and people who listen, who can actually listen to you and comprehend what it is that you're trying to relate to them. Not someone who's quick to give their comments and to give their opinions to you instead of listening to what you're trying to communicate. All right? So that's what it is. Higher versus lower. Where you're going to be. It's a plane of choice. You can choose any one of those. It's not a matter of wrong or right. It's a matter of choice. Okay? However, every choice has a consequence, if you will. Right? Now, for little boys and little girls who want to find out what the name of God is, because I heard there's something called the God or a God or some sort of God character running around. Okay? So I got something for you, little boys and little girls. If you ever want to know what the name of God is, his name is Harry. If you believe there's somebody called Joseph and Mary and David. Alright? His name is Harry. So every time you want to speak to the God, speak to Harry. Alright? Harry. Alright? And his full name is Hari Krishna. Right. Take it Tooblack, ladies and gentlemen. I think that's enough for today. We're going to come back and do a few other things when the time is right. All right. So we're going to go into space. I mean, there's so much. We're going to do symbolism. We're going to expose this free people who free themselves from these constraints of Maya. Okay. They're going down, and they're going down quick, and we're loving it. All right. So Tooblack. Still Tooblack in it. You don't like it? You know what to do. Yeah.
we're just friends. Face so pain and our body so lame. What girls I like.